Okay, we're going straight in on this video. I'm going to be talking about and explaining how to start weight training in the gym as a beginner. This is probably one of the most frequently asked questions I get in the comments, like where to start. Like, I'd really want to get into the gym. Where on earth do you start? Like, how does it all work? What on earth is a rep or a set? What is all this terminology that you use? Today I just thought I would like break it down quite simply. I don't want this video to be like super long and overwhelming, because don't get me wrong, there is quite a bit to it, but my main theme is just keeping everything simple, because it doesn't need to be complicated, hard, anything like that, or overwhelming. I remember when I first started out in the gym and stuff, I was so confused by everything. I found the gym so daunting, and just walked in there, I felt like the whole gym floor were just staring at me when they probably weren't. It was mostly in my head because I was lacking so much confidence, didn't have a clue what I was doing. Some of the machines really scared me. I remember going on the leg press, maybe the second time I stepped foot in the gym, honestly thought I was going to die. This was a good few years ago now. We've come a long way since, obviously. Yeah, I just wanted to like break everything down a bit in this video, you know, help a few of you out if I can do. So you've probably decided on strength training, which is just a form of resistance training. This can be done literally through like bands, body weight, or like through weights. Weights obviously is like the kind of like superior stimuli, because you can increase your weight and progressively overload like over a period of time. Ultimately, like resistance training just tears down your muscle so that it can rebuild itself stronger than it was before. So that's how it works. For this vid, I have written down a few notes if you see me glancing over this kind of way. I just wanted this to be, you know, like really to the point, no dilly to the dally in this one. If you could hit this video with a like, I would appreciate it. It really helps and supports my channel and is very much appreciated, and we'll just delve straight in. So starting with the number one, first thing I would say is to obviously set yourself some short-term and long-term goals. And the first thing, as soon as I say that out loud, that comes to my mind is make sure they're not completely aesthetic goals. Like, trust me on this one. When I first started out like with fitness, I basically based my whole entire fitness goals just going on aesthetics. Like, I'd set myself, I think my first goal was just to try and grow a bum and grow my glutes. So I did that for a few weeks, and the next minute I was like, oh, I'm not happy, like I don't want to put on size anywhere else other than my glutes, which is very difficult to do. And I wanted to try and get abs then. So I was like, each week I was kind of going between different goals and aiming for different things, like contrasting each other, which is just, it was exhausting, to be honest, because I couldn't find like a happy place. So I would really advise to, obviously you can have aesthetics goals, but I would say to mainly focus on performance goals, because that's when I've noticed the most results on a whole. That is the secret, like focus on performance rather than just purely aesthetics. And it can be a real downhill spiral and affect you negatively. So yeah, I won't go off on a tangent on that one. And what I mean by performance goals can be anything, like anything that's personal to you. So it could be to be able to do some like unassisted push-ups, to improve your balance, to do a pull-up, just anything like that. Set yourself a goal, and I think that's the best way to have something to work towards, and it's so rewarding as well. And feeling yourself getting stronger each week, or like after each, like your first few sessions, is so empowering. So the next thing I would say is to absolutely spend some time working on your technique and form of like each movement that you plan on performing in the gym. If it's easier for you, or if you're lacking a bit of like confidence like in the actual gym, I would just say do this, like start by doing this at home in front of a mirror, and just going onto YouTube, like watching some tutorials on how to perform like individual movements, and kind of go from there really. There's so much out there, and I'm so grateful, like as I'm sure we all are, to be in a generation where we can just get everything at our fingertips. Like, it's brilliant. Or if you're in a position to get like a PT in your gym just for your first few sessions, just to talk you through like each movement, explain the machines, that's also a good idea, but it's not completely necessary. There is some really good information out there online and stuff. And of course, like what comes with learning each movement is you're gonna feel so much more confident. Like when you walk into the gym, you're not gonna feel like people are staring at you because you don't really know what you're doing, or you feel like, are they looking at me because I'm doing it wrong? They're most likely not, and it is 95% of the time in your head, but you're going to save yourself so much time in the long run from performing. You're not going to get as good results, for example, if you are performing a movement with incorrect form, and you could also, you know, cause yourself an injury, which we do not want. But just remember, like, we all start somewhere. Whoever you're looking at in the gym thinking, wow, like they look like they really know what they're doing, that person started somewhere. You know, that's just how it goes. Then the next thing is, it doesn't have to be 100% perfect. Just like anything, I guess, you know, we all start somewhere. We're all a beginner at some point, and that's like how life goes, isn't it? Trying something new. So I think that's really important to remember. That person that you admire in the gym, they started somewhere. The girl next to you that's squatting blooming like 2 houses on her back, you know, she started somewhere. Don't sort of try keep up with, say if you go to the gym with like a friend or something, and they've been lifting longer than you or whatever, don't try like keep up with them as such if you're not comfortable doing the same weights, or you don't throw yourself under the bus. Like, we all have completely individual journeys, different bodies, all of that, so don't rush yourself. Ultimately as well, the most important thing is just being consistent. That is what I think a lot of people struggle with. Just stick to, you know, your goals. Like, keep your goal in mind, be consistent, keep showing up, have a plan, and just keep it moving, you know. So on that last point, which brings me on to the next one, which is going to the gym with a plan. I really wish I could go back and tell my like younger self this, because honestly, I would walk around the gym aimlessly. I'd get so worked up, like say if someone was on a machine that I was going to use, and I'd be like, I don't really know what to do next. So save yourself, and it is the biggest like insecurity part lifted from the gym. So you'll just feel yourself walking in there a lot more confident, knowing what you're doing. You're gonna have much more effective sessions than you would do like without a plan. And say if like a certain machine or whatever is occupied, you can just move on to your next and go back to that one. That is an absolute must, I would say, to like maybe plan out, have your workouts planned for a week, or if you're find that a bit too much, just plan out like for the following day, or do it in the morning before you go. Just, you know, find what works for you. So the next one is deciding what approach to take. So this is going to be like completely personal, dependent on your goals. Say if you want to cultivate more strength, or if you want to get leaner, you know, it's completely individual choices. But don't for 1 minute think heavy weights make you big and bulky. It's all about like your volume, your rep range, all of that. So just as an example, say if you are wanting to increase your strength, it's going to be heavy weights for fewer reps. So like say 3 to 6 reps if you are going with much heavier weights. If you're wanting to get leaner, say it's going to be moderate weight with a higher rep range. So it's like between 10 and 15 reps, just as an example. Never really any more than like 15 reps. That'd just be crazy volume, and you don't want to damage like your joint. So the next thing is workout split. This obviously is quite dependent on how much like you've done, and how much of a beginner you are, if you're really unfit and all of that. But generally, say if you've dabbled in a few home workouts here and there, or you've been to the gym a few times but never gone in with like, you know, full-blown structure, if you like, I would probably say to start with 2 upper body sessions and 2 lower body ssessions. Say if you're training 4 days a week, just ease yourself into that. Definitely don't neglect upper body. Like I did that when I first started out, as you want to be like, you want to have a balanced physique and be in proportion, and it's going to also help you a lot with your lower body lifts. So yeah, so that is definitely something to consider. Just to add to that as well, you really don't need to overcomplicate it. Like the main thing is just keeping it simple when you're first starting out. Like you don't need to isolate certain specific muscle groups. You just want to get yourself like familiar with the staple compound movements that are going to get you the most effective and best results. In terms of workout frequency, this is completely like personal to your schedule. There's no right or wrong at all in terms of like time to train. Just find what works for you. I personally like training in the morning, but you know, you might be full of life, or you've got more time on an evening. Just suit that to yourself. But I would say like I mentioned a second ago, probably to start with like between 3 and 4 workouts. 5 might be a bit much, but just see how you go. I'd say start gradually and build it up, but just keep it consistent. There are literally so many funky ass workouts out there, but foundational compound lifts are always like the real winner, and that's what you want to focus on mastering. Of course, like accessory work is brilliant, but it goes hand in hand. But yeah, first things first, always the compound lifts. So compound movements are like the heart of any workout program. They focus on functional fitness and go through a wide range of motion. So yeah, definite focus. So the last few points, I'm not going to keep going on and on, is just tempo. This is something that's really important. So you really want to focus on that mind to muscle connection. Like whatever you are working, you want to focus in, like think about it in your brain, make sure you can feel the contraction. And when it comes to like speed, keep things like slow, controlled and steady. Like don't be like like flinging stuff about. That's going to help so much with your form and stuff, and you're going to find it a lot easier. And of course, like performing that in the mirror, doing it from home, you can really like master that. So yeah, that is pretty much everything I wanted to cover in this video. Do let me know if there's anything else you would like to know or whatever, or what other videos would be helpful for you. Pop them in the comments down below and I would be more than happy to do that. If you haven't already, I would love you to stick around by subscribing to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.